The State Treasurer, young Boozer, our guest, we have seen you on a number of commercials. We saw you when you were running for office. We saw you talking about different programs that the state is offering. Tell us briefly about the College Counts 529 program and how that works.
I'd be happy to, and you're probably glad I'm not jumping out of that box from that commercial.
Exactly.
The big blue box.
The big blue box.
Well, over the years we have jumped out of that box to tell people that it's time to take a look about making an investment in the Alabama College Counts 529 plan to build their children's or their grandchildren's college education war chest. So we manage the College Counts 529 plan. It is the best way for a person to save for a child or a grandchild's college education. There's no doubt about it. It is the way that people should invest in the next generation. It's a plan that we sponsor. We have a great administrator in Union Bank and Trust. We have an investment portfolio of a selection of investments that you can make that include names that everybody knows like Vanguard, T. Rowe Price, and Fidelity. So there's some really good options, and they're really good ways in which you can invest your money to prepare for college some 15 to 18 years from now.
When do you recommend that parents or grandparents or whatever entity it is, whoever it is that does this, when do you suggest they start this program?
Well, Charlie, I would say they need to start right now.
Right now.
Right now. This is the time, two things. This is the time of year to start, and you start when your child is born, 1 or 2, because the sooner you start, the longer you'll have to be able to grow that fund and be able to provide for the education. We are approaching December. December 31st is obviously the end of the calendar year. It's also the end of the tax year for everybody. And there is a tax advantage to making an investment in the College Counts 529 plan. If you have one that's open, you can make an additional contribution. If you have an open one, you can make a contribution and get this tax advantage. Now, what is it? The tax advantage is for Alabama taxpayers, and you get a tax benefit of up to $10,000 if you're filing as a married couple, and up to $5,000 if you're filing as an individual. The tax advantages for the 529 plan are significant. So not only do you get that this year, but the contributions that you make into the fund now are tax deferred. So as long as they're in there, they're working without any taxes being taken out. And then when your child goes to college and you start to use those funds to pay for qualified college expenses, they're tax-free. So this is the best way to save and provide for a college education.
You talk about when they are born, start then, year or 2 old, whatever the case may be. But say there's someone watching and their child is in junior high or high school. Is that too late?
Never too late.
Oh, there we go.
It is never too late to do that. So, certainly the earlier you start, the better off it is. My dad used to say that compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. And of course, the longer you have it in the investment, the better it is. But if you start now, you can save, you can get the tax benefits, and you'll be able to use it when they go to school. So whether it's next year or 5 years, you need to open up one of these. The other thing about the 529 plan is really flexible as to whom can use it. So if you have a child that's 2, you can open up and they can be the beneficiary. You have a child who's 15, you can do the same thing. The other thing is that you can also change beneficiaries. So if you have a child who decides not to go to college, you can move that beneficiary to the next or to somebody else. The other thing you can do is you can use it not only for undergraduate education, but you can use it for graduate education. And that's a benefit that a lot of other programs don't have.
When you mention the younger, the better, what comes to mind is we hear a lot of times in Alabama's financing rainy day funds and things like that. You run into a bump. We all hit bumps in the road in our financial situations. But the earlier you start, you can hit a bump in the road and recoup from that.
You have time to recover.
You have time to recover.
That's
and
right.
the compound interest, let me tell us a little quick story.
Okay.
Our friends from Southern Financial Group were on the other morning, and they told me about a client that had found, did not know, but had found almost $200,000 worth of matured savings bonds
Wow.
in an estate that had been kind of put away. The sad part is, going back to what your dad said, they matured 20 years ago and they've been sitting there not making anything.
My goodness.
So,
Yeah.
we're talking about a program that will.
It will. The other great thing about the program is that there are investment options that you can make that are tailored to how old your child is. Because of course when you start and your child is 1 or 2, you can be a little bit more aggressive in your investment choices. So there are target funds, there are age-based funds, and then there are funds that you can design yourself so that you can be more aggressive at an early age so that if something does happen, you can make it up. And then as you get closer to college, when you know you got to have that money for that tuition, it becomes more conservative. So it changes as time goes on.
Time goes on.
Yes.
We're going to take a break, one more segment with our special guest, Young Boozer, on the program. Stay with us. We'll be right back.